Hi, everyone, and thank you for taking the opportunity to do some professional development. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon Vadovic. I'm the grade 7-8 teacher for the virtual elementary school. And I'm taking PQP Part 1 over the summer, and PQP Part 1 involves having to do a leadership practicum. And what I chose to do for a leadership practicum was focus on how to engage students in a virtual learning environment. And as I was doing some research, what I found was that some of the reasons that students aren't as engaged in virtual learning is because there are a number of distractions that are around them. In fact, here's one of the articles that I read, and I highlighted the one of the things that stuck out for me, and it talks about the fact that the tablets and computers that they use are their entertainment devices. And so it's really easy for them to want to get sucked into something that is entertaining. And that got me thinking about trying to take regular classroom pedagogy and move it into the virtual learning environment, and how sometimes it doesn't necessarily correlate. So I got to thinking about how can we change that? How can we become more engaging as teachers online? And what came to me was that we need to kind of reinvent the way that we are approaching a classroom, and we need to become broadcasters. We need to become entertainers. And you might think to yourself, well, wait a second, you lost me already. But if you think about it, you're already performing in front of 30 eyes day in and day out in a face-to-face classroom. So if we can just remove ourselves from that classroom and think about how we can better perform on a virtual screen to try to engage our students, perhaps they'll be more engaged and more apt to stick with us during the virtual day versus going over to something like YouTube or to some type of video game. So I know it sounds like it's going to be a lot. I think that if you watch this video series that I'm creating, I think that you'll find that it's easier than you think to move to the broadcast mindset while being an educator in the background. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to download a program called OBS. And OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software. And OBS is a free program. Now, one of the things that you need to have here is a laptop that actually has storage on it. So this will not work on a Chromebook. It has to be something that you can download the program to in order for this to work. And it doesn't have to be like a super fancy gaming laptop. It can be any laptop that's kind of floating around if you're currently using one at home. If you're planning on teaching from home, you can do it from a desktop. A laptop will give you a little bit more performance, more so than a Chromebook, because the Chromebook doesn't have the oomph to make it work. So once you have a laptop and you're ready to download, or a desktop, you're going to go into Google and type in OBS. And when you get into OBS, you're going to click on Open Broadcaster Software. And it's going to ask you to download the program to whatever operating system you have, Windows, Mac, or Linux. Mine's already downloaded, so I'll give you a second to go ahead and do that. If you need to pause the video, now is a great time to do that while you are downloading and installing the program. If you've never installed a program before, you simply just have to accept the terms and then hit yes, and then let it do its thing. So I'll pause for a moment and I'll catch up with you in about a few seconds. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you have had the opportunity to download OBS. What's going to happen is you're going to see a brand new logo on your screen. Sorry, I have a whole bunch of stuff open. You're going to see a brand new logo on your screen here called OBS Studio. Now, the purpose of this video is just to get the program downloaded. And once you have the program downloaded, I'm going to walk you through some of the things that are on it. And as you continue to learn and unlock kind of new learning, the videos will become a little bit more complex from the standpoint of different things that you can do with Broadcast Studio. So what I'll get you to do is click on OBS. One of the things that I like to do is make sure that it's pinned to the taskbar down below. So if you right click on the logo, you're going to get the option to pin to taskbar. Mine says unpin because it's already there, but yours will say pin to taskbar. If you click on that, that logo will pop up down here for quick access. Once you're in the program, this is what you get. Now, yours will look a little different because mine is already done, and I'm just going to walk you through what these are. So we'll try and get through this in a very quick amount of time. What you're looking at right here is what is going to go to air. So if you're thinking about that in terms of Google Meets, for instance, it's what the kids can see. So whatever shows up on this picture right here, whether it be your webcam, whether it be a timer, whether it be a transition, whether it be YouTube, a video that you want to show them, or Google Classroom, whatever is in this screen right here, this is considered your on-air screen, so what the students can see. Down here below, you're going to get some things called scenes. And scenes are important because scenes will allow you to toggle through things way faster than what you could do with Google Classroom and Google Meet, for instance. So let's say in the morning, I want to have a video or a transition of my students. I'm going to have a scene that's going to be set up here, and it's going to show you what I have. And the students will come in and see this screen in the morning. And then maybe once I'm done and I have a timer here and the day has started, rather than saying, okay, guys, good morning, I can just switch right over to say, oh, Canada. And then when prayers come on, I can switch over to prayers. And you can see that all I'm doing here is I'm just preloading these scenes with content. And it's just a matter of clicking from one thing to the next. Okay? The next thing that you're going to see here are what we call sources. And sources are what shows up in each of these scenes. So scenes is very much like a lunchbox. And the sources are what's in the lunchbox. So if you want certain things to be in a scene, you got to pack it in the lunchbox in order for it to work. Okay, so right now you can see here that I have an audio input, which is my microphone, and I have this crucifix picture. If I was to just shut that picture off, you would see I have just a black screen. Okay, now, because it's black, that is exactly what the students would see. I can turn it back on. There we go. This right here is the audio mixer, and the audio mixer is going to allow me to control the volume that the kids hear on their computers. So right now you can see that there is nothing playing, but we've got these little green, they're called VU meters. We've got these little green meters here which show what's coming through in terms of sound. I have all sound shut off right now, so there's nothing going through. But if I wanted to put something on, so for instance, maybe I want to play some music in the background, you can see right here I've got the Imperial March. I can turn it on, and as this VU meter is now pushing music through, the kids are going to be able to hear the music. And that's going to allow me to kind of decipher how loud things need to be if I want to talk over the music, or if I want to just punch the music through as much as I possibly can. So that's what a VU meter is. Over here we have the controls. The only control that you're ever going to need to use are these two right here, Start Virtual Camera and Studio Mode. And we will do that in a separate video. And that is pretty much everything that you need to have just to get acclimated to this. What I would do next is I would invite you to take a look at video number 2, which is where we're going to start loading things into scenes to try to get you ready for day 1 of your school. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in video number 2 when we're going to break down those scenes.